Greetings. Welcome to Firebolt Consulting. We are a Salesforce staffing and services firm. And today we're going to cover workflows. Now, Workflow Builder has several features. In the next session, we'll compare it to the Process Builder as we go into the details of the Process Builder. So for now, what you need to understand is that both the workflows and the process builders can automate actions, different types of actions without using any code. So these are the declarative methods for automating functionality in Salesforce. Workflow is a relatively old technique, but it's still supported by Salesforce. And the one thing that Workflow can do that the process builder at this point cannot is be able to send out outbound messages. Now, apart from outbound messages, workflows can handle field updates, as well as sending emails and handling various tasks. So we'll look at some of these in a bit more detail. Okay, all right. Now the next step is to look at what are the 4 actions that workflow can handle. It can handle various types of field updates, both for the main record as well as the related fields. It can handle sending out email communication to a lead or a contact or account object that you're working on. It can handle various tasks, both assignment of tasks as well as updating task statuses. And then again, it can handle outbound messaging. So let's take a quick look at this. So here, as an example, what I'm going to do next is I'll create a workflow on a lead object. Here my goal is to send an email to the lead with some information about our company anytime the lead status is set to working contacted. Okay, so with that, let me switch to Salesforce. So right now we are in the Salesforce application, and as you can see here, I'm on lead. This is T Goofy, and here this is the email address of the Goofy that we want to send out the email to. And as you notice, currently the status is not contacted. What we want to do is we want to automate it such that the moment the status changes to working contacted, I want to be able to send out an email. Instead of manually typing out the details here, I want to automate this process. So that's our requirement. Okay. Now what we'll do is, in order for us to build any functionality, we need to go to Setup, right? Either using declarative tools or using programming tools, we are able to change the functionality of out-of-the-box Salesforce application. Okay, so the way to go to Setup is by clicking on Setup here on the top right-hand corner. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'll search for workflow and select workflow rules. And once the workflow rules loads, be sure to read this basic information about what is a Salesforce, how it works, some of the key examples and so forth. For the time being, I'll click on continue. So now I can go ahead and assign certain rules. Okay, and the best thing about Salesforce is they have provided some context sensitive help as well. You can click on this to load the help web page. Okay, try to get more and more familiar with this wonderful material that is offered by Salesforce. Now, apart from that, you can also watch some videos. So again, when you click on it, it launches in a new page, just to give you some context. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to create a rule. So step 1, click on new rule, and then we have to select an object. And as you saw here, the object we are working with is lead. So let me jump back to the setup workflow rules, and I'll select lead here. Now remember, these are all organized alphabetically. So all I have to do here is go ahead and pick lead. Now once I do that, next thing I'm going to do is go to step 2 of the process, where I'll give a name for the lead, right? So here I'm going to say email update to lead, right? This is the name of your rule. And for the timing, I'm going to using a workflow rule. So automate email update to lead. Okay, when status changes from new to working contacted. Now working contacted is our target. This one is open, not contacted. So let me just go and fix this to open, not contacted. Okay, all right, now we want to evaluate this rule not just the first time, but anytime this rule is met. Okay, now you could also say anytime it's created and edited, so you can set it up based on what your requirement is. For the time being, I'll leave it at created and anytime it is edited to subsequently meet the criteria. Okay, now what is the criteria? Right, now you could have a criteria, you could work with formulas. We'll handle formulas later on. Right now I'm interested in a field. Now the field is our lead status field. So I'm gonna go find the lead status field. It's right here. And then lead status field equals or contains, right? And this is a lookup field. It opens up a new window, and these are the 4 statuses. So right now I'm interested in anytime the status goes to working contacted. So I'll insert that. Okay, so here we have defined the rule, and sometimes you may need additional filters. At this point I don't need a filter, so I'll go ahead and click on save and next. Okay, so next thing what we need to do is we have our rule here, what our evaluation criteria is. The most important thing, of course, is the reason we're creating a workflow is automate an action. So the action we wanted to automate is to send an email. So let's go ahead and click on add workflow action and select new email alert. Okay, so select that, and then here of course I have to provide some details. So here it is email update to lead. That's my unique email alert. The object is lead, and if you have any template you could assign a template here. Right now I'll select from one of the templates. So this is a new customer email template. I'll select that. And then the next thing I'm interested in, who am I sending this to? So I could be sending it to a user. So I'll select Outbound Consulting. This is a user, and additional emails. Now, apart from sending an email to the user, I also want to be able to send it to the lead. So here I search for, in the recipient search, I'm going to select email field, and here this is the email field. Okay, so make sure you select this, so that way these are the selected recipients. You could also add additional, let's say you're working in a sales organization and the manager needs to be copied on it, you copy it here. Or if there's a common mailbox, you could type it in here. Okay, all right. Now this goes out either from the current user's email address. Sometimes you can also set it up to have a common email address. So I'll click on save, and my action for this workflow is saved. Okay. Okay, so the workflow actions have not been added yet. So in order for that to happen, let's go ahead and create a time trigger. So here you have to specify when this trigger runs, right? Now you could specify hours, days. So let's say this goes out within an email, right? So here I can set up an email trigger. Okay, rule trigger date, and then whenever the rule triggers, within an hour the email goes out. So I click on save, and now our mailbox is set up. And we are done. Alright, so the workflow rule, actions, trigger, everything is set up. Now it's still not active, right? So this is where you would land back to the workflow rules, and you would click on activate. It says the default workflow user must be set. So I'm going to go ahead and select the default workflow user. So this is typically an administrator. So in this case, of course, you are the account holder and therefore the administrator. So make sure you select yourself. Okay. And that's basically it. We can go through the details later, but right now you're up and running and your process is set up. Okay, so we are done with the setup. Now let's go ahead and test it. So in order for us to test it, let's go back to lead. So right now, if you notice, I don't have any of the tasks. There have been some tasks previously created, but no emails. So that's what we will be setting up. Okay, so I'll click on, let me just refresh this just to be sure. I'm on a lead. So if for some reason you are not on a particular lead, just make sure you're on the sales application by navigating to the app launcher and searching for sales. And once you're on sales, search for leads and pick a lead and just check if you are on open not contact. That's what criteria is, right? So as you go into working contacted, your workflow trigger. So I'm gonna go ahead, click here, and then click on mark status is completed. So now I'm in working contacted, and let's see if we have sent any emails. Okay, now remember this goes out within an hour of triggering it. So when you come back and check, you should see an email in one of the actions window right here. Okay, so we'll check back later, but that's how you set it up. Now it's your turn. What I need you to do is go ahead and set up a workflow. Now workflows can be on any object, so your goal is to set it up on the account object. Account object is a field called rating. Whenever the rating is set to hot, I want you to be able to change the opportunity status field to yes. So let me show you where you would find that. Account is part of the sales application. So click on accounts. Let's pick any account. And here, as part of the account details, we are interested in two fields. So one of the fields is rating. So I have a rating of hot, warm, and cold. And what I want to be able to do is the moment I select hot and save, I want my upsell opportunity to be set to yes. So right now they are not connected. So let me select the priority and save. Okay, so right now I set the rating to hot and the upsell opportunity is not set. What we are looking for is the moment you update this field, you want the upsell opportunity to be set to yes. So that's our goal. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining. This is one of the lengthier videos. I'll try to keep my videos to under 7 minutes. Okay, going forward. So we'll break it up into shorter snippets. But this is a key piece of the functionality. So make sure you practice it a couple of times. Okay. All right, thank you.